Hello and welcome back to Chengi's World. My name is Chengi and you are my world. So let's get this party started. Today we're going to be doing Women Ask Wednesday, and the question that I'm going to be answering is one that I was asked by a client of mine, and I thought it was really powerful and really important, especially in 21st century, and that we would all really benefit from the answer that I have for you. And the question that I had from this particular client, she was seeing somebody and things were not going, perfectly, because they were in the second phase of their relationship where, the perfect phase is over and then the imperfect stage. They hadn't quite got to negotiation. And at that point is when most people ask themselves, could I do better? Am I settling here? Could I do better? And I want to speak to those of you who are asking yourself, can I do better? Is it possible for me to do better? Because what is happening in the 21st century is because there's so much more access to relationships, to men, to relationships, basically. They're easier to access through online dating. You can always meet somebody, and if you are an attractive woman, then meeting somebody tends to be quite normal. You attract people wherever you go. And so there is a delusion that there's an anxiety that has come with 21st century dating that I can do better. There is a desire to constantly be upgrading on what you have. When men were not as accessible, when you only had access to the men on your street that would see you on the way to the bus stop, because there were no cell phones, the technology had not made men so available. A woman had to and would make the best of the offers that she had, and she would work through them. But now a woman doesn't have to, and the same thing with men. They feel they no longer have to work it through with a woman, try and work through the communication issues, whatever the issues are. And so what we do is we throw men back into the waters quite easily, and as though it's of little relevance. He doesn't quite fit into this, so we're going through that difficult time. So what I do is I throw you back into the water because there must be something better. And then we have a culture where family and friends keep saying, but you can do better. Okay, there's always better. There is a betteritis. I don't know what it's called, but we've become anxious that the one that we're with, the one that we fell for, the one that we've been building something for and investing in, just because things have gone a little bit awry and things are not as we thought they should be, we're now thinking perhaps we can do better. And what happens is time passes by and we keep attracting the same guy, different meat, same meat, different gravy. We're changing it up, but it's really the same situation, because God is not about to make you not go through the process that He's got for you. Like if you won't sit the test today, you're only gonna sit it tomorrow. You're not going to jump through. This is a test that you must sit through. Now, I'm not talking about being with a narcissist or being with some abusive person who's abusive constantly. I'm talking about a relationship that may have lost its luster, maybe a dating phase where things are not so clear and there's a bit of confusion or whatever, a state where you think to yourself, you've come to a point in your relationship where you're asking, like my client did, can I do better? The answer is yes. As long as the earth revolves around its axis and circles the sun over 365 days, and as long as the earth remains, yes, you can do better. Yes, you can. But here's the problem. That is the problem. The problem is you can always upgrade, but how long will you wait to keep upgrading? How long do you have to keep upgrading? Even when you are married to the man of your dreams and you are waking up in the same bed, having the same life, having the most amazing experiences, one day, a few days, somebody is gonna walk through the doors of your life who's gonna be better than the one you chose. And that is where affairs begin to happen. That is the realm of affairs. That's when that man that knows how to look at you the right way, who knows how to talk to you the right way, the man that you always dreamt of before you settled for your husband or for your boyfriend, before you decided to just settle down, is what we tell ourselves. Even though we're very much in love with this person when we met them, we tell ourselves we settled because something better came along. Guess what? I don't care if you're married, single, or wanting to be in a relationship. Something better will always walk into the room. What I need to break in our psyche, and just listen to me really carefully. What I need to break in our psyche is this idea that I don't have to work with what I have because there's going to be something better. That now that I'm in this marriage and something better walks through the door, that maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I should jump ship. Now that I know that understand there will always be better. There will always be better. But maybe right now in your hands you have the best. And yes, perhaps you have to scrub it, you have to clean it, you have to be patient with it, you have to pray for it, you have to, endure it for a season. But maybe that is your best. And you can take your best and make it better. You can make the most incredible relationship, because guess what? Somebody better than you too exists. Somebody who can love your man better. Someone who can tolerate him better. Someone who can do what you do better. Cook better. Sleep with him better. Whatever better. There's some better version of you. A younger, fresher, more beautiful version of you. There is always better. Now, if we're all going to be bettering ourselves, if we're all going to be, then you too can be upgraded. You too can find yourself on the sidewalk, thrown out into the cold. Sometimes we have come into a season, and we're in a season of delusion and deception. A season where we're egotistical, where our ego is so huge and so big. We can do better. I can do better. And then you got your friends saying you can do better. And then you got your mama calling you and saying you can do better. And everybody says you can do better. And you're so busy trying to do better, you're missing out on the best thing for you right now at this time in your season in your life. Because some of you have been waiting for better for so long. Some of you have been throwing man back into the pool because you want better. You want him to have more money. You want him to have more education. You want him to be able to do this better. You want that better. You want better. And better comes along and you still want better, because better will always present itself. There will always be better. Who and what will you stop to do? Because right now, this is your season to get married and have children. This is your season to settle this side, to end this section of life and to begin another section. But you are postponing it until it is overdue, and then now you will have to settle for the person that you think that you think is going to be the one to come into your life. Now you have to settle. Now you have to settle. You didn't have to settle before, but now you have to settle, because all of the best that went along. Now, if you sit back on yourself, hand on heart, ladies, put your hand on your heart. How many ex-boyfriends do you look back on? Maybe years now that the anger has subsided and the feelings of being let down have subsided. Tell me right now, how many ex-boyfriends do you look back in your past and think, I could have made it work with that guy? If I knew what I knew now, I could have made it work. That guy was a good guy. That all I had to do really was be patient at that point. All I had to do was try and understand what was going on at that point. All I had to do was pick up the phone. All I had to do was just lean back and let him go through that process and go through that hard time. All I needed to do at that time was just to lean back. All I had to do at that time was just to tolerate that season for that minute, for that moment, and we would have been together. And I would have been his new wife, the wife that he has now, who was prepared to do what you were not prepared to do, who was not prepared to throw him back, who was prepared to work on him. And now you meet him 5-6 years later, he's that guy. He's hot and his life is together and he's got his family and he's got this amazing woman in his life. And you think to yourself, I could have been her, but I wasn't prepared because I was expecting that I could do better. And so many men, and we know as ladies, we've dated guys out here who think they can do better. When they met you, they had met the woman of their dreams, but something in a deception of the enemy, the delusion that is common to the 21st century, has told them that they can do better. That when they were trying to chase after you, when they were investing time and after you, something got into their heads and said, perhaps I can do better. Perhaps I can upgrade this. And if they had just hung on in there, if they had just invested and committed to that thing that was best for them today, 5 years later, now they're seeing you with some amazing guy and they're thinking she could have been mine, and now they're coming back for seconds or hoping, oh, I made a mistake. You know, I don't know how many men I've had in my inbox telling me they've made a mistake, but I was there. I was present. I was giving my best. I was there, and they took it for granted because in their minds, if I can get a girl like this, I can do better. I never thought I could be with a girl like Chengi, but now that I can, it's showing me that I can do better. So now all of a sudden they want to do better. They didn't think they could be with a girl like Sarah, like you, like Jane, like whatever. They never thought they could even talk to you. But now that they got your attention and it didn't seem to be too much of a hassle, they start to think to themselves, you know what? I can do better. I can do better when they see you in your natural state, and when you're not, in every form, and they realize that actually you're made of flesh and blood, that this pedestal that they'd put you on was not reality, that actually you're made of flesh and blood, and that sometimes you wake up and your hair's kind of crazy, and sometimes you wake up and you're not smelling so good in all the places that you should be smelling good, that all of a sudden you wake up and actually you look normal, and all of a sudden it's like, down from the pedestal, I can do better. And they go in search of better. And we see these men become old and gray and pathetic, still chasing young girls, still chasing foolish realities, because in their minds they kept buying into this lie that they could do better. But I see women doing it all the time too. We're entering into a culture where we throw men back and nobody wants to make an effort. Nobody wants to accept that you will only get 51% value of what you need from a relationship. That 51% is the most you can ever get out of somebody. And that sometimes there are things that you just have to accept about somebody. That there's something that you have to accept about them. That you have the grace to accept it. Maybe Jane didn't have the grace to accept it. Maybe Sally didn't have the grace to accept it. But you have to accept that. You have to accept it as long as it's legal, ethical, and moral, and it doesn't hurt you or abuse you. Sometimes you have to accept it. And this is where we miss the mark, and this is where things go pear-shaped for us, because we are in a position where we are unwilling. We're constantly wanting to upgrade, always constantly thinking, but can I do better? Can you do better? Of course you can do better. But must you constantly be searching for that better? Because this is the truth. The truth is you can do better. But sometimes you can't. Sometimes what is best is what you need to build with today. Knowing full well that I might walk into a room one day when I've got 4 kids and I'm married to this guy, and the guy that I've always dreamt of is going to walk in and speak to me the way I want, and I'm going to have to say no to that. But was I really going to wait another 20 years to meet him? Are you going to wait another 10 years to meet the better? Are you going to throw this one away because you can do better and wait another 10 years, another 5 years? Do you have that in you? Or should you be praying through and working through and talking through and educating yourself to make the best of what you have right now? Because in every season, this is the better. And many of us would say, no, I'm not prepared to wait another 20 years, another 15 years before I meet better. But when you are treating this person or this situation or this circumstance as if you can do better, when you are not doing the work, and a lot of it is usually because the women I'm talking to, they don't want to do the work. They don't want to work on themselves. They don't want to ask themselves. They don't want to question themselves. They don't want to adjust themselves. If I can stay the same and find somebody who can just fit into me, I can just stay the same because everybody thinks I'm wonderful. Everybody loves the way that I am. Everybody likes the way that I talk, the way that I do the things that I do. So why should I have to change? Why can't I just get better? Basically, why can't I get somebody who would just deal with my nonsense or my crap or those areas that I don't want to grow in? Because this guy doesn't like it, because this guy can't work with it, because this guy is asking me to be better, to deal with those things that make me not as great as I could be. So I'm just going to discard of him and find somebody better, somebody who can handle my crap better, who can handle my crazy better, who can handle my... But how about just growing and becoming that better version of yourself? Because no matter what, one day, even Mr. Better is going to see you at your most natural. He's going to see you at your worst. But you don't want him to be sitting there thinking, could I do better? So that is hopefully the way that you can deal with that anxiety to do better. It's become an anxiety in relationships. And if you can master that, and really be in your zone and realize that this is the reality of life, but we have to not settle, but accept, honor, and respect that which is before us and make the most of it as long as it's available. It's as good as it's going to get today, right now, and you can make it better. You can create a better relationship. It is in your power to create a better and best relationship with that which is before you and which is being presented before you. I don't want you to lose out on love because you're constantly looking far yonder, because a bird in hand is better than two is better than 2 in the fields, 2 in the bushes that you need to go and find. You have somebody right here, right now, who cares about you, who loves you, who wants to go out with you, who wants to date you. Give them a chance. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, liked or commented or shared, make sure that you do. I'll see you again in my next video. Take care of you.